the church, the religious orders turning on me, the government turning on me, my own disciples trying to set me up, let this cup pass from me. And then as he prayed about it, the disciples slept. They didn't understand that act. And then, not my will but thine be done. He left on that note, not my will but thine be done. Which runs us into what made Dr. King. Dr. King was his remaining cover. Today in America we have the joy. It's midday, it's high noon in our politics. I mean, woman Speaker of the House, African American head of the state, African American governor of New York and Massachusetts, Latino head of government in New Mexico. We have this broad array of our political dreams of multicultural living and voting being realized. But then it's midnight in our economy. It's dark in our economy. Because somehow, somewhere along the way, the banksters were allowed to revive a monopoly on capital. While we democratized politics, we didn't democratize capital. Didn't democratize opportunities. So we've globalized capital without globalizing human rights and workers' rights, children's rights, women's rights, environmental security. And so they eased under the rug and rejected the Glass-Steagall Act, which said banks cannot have banking and security under the same roof, which said banks must lend money and not put trading over lending, which Roosevelt injected 75 years ago, but they eased it out and the floodgates open. Bankers began to use that money to buy up the Senate and bring in bankruptcy laws that disallow judges to modify home foreclosures. They used that power to neutralize the Congress so they would not oversee civil rights. And banks used that power to circumvent fair lending laws and fair housing laws and community reinvestment and Title VI, EEOC and contract compliance and affirmative action. They used that power to circumvent the law, and they sunk the ship because civil rights laws were not enforced. Dr. King said they must always be enforced and funded to make them real. So today we find ourselves in joy. Our politics is pain in our economy. We've had 18 million manufacturing jobs in 1999. Today we got 8. And people feeling threatened by a sinking feeling. Record home foreclosures, church foreclosures, student loan defaults, credit card scams. We have a sinking feeling because somehow we're not enforced the law. This coming Sunday in America, I'll let you go. There's a big ball game coming up called the Super Bowl. At the end of that game, no referee will be the most valuable player or be cheered. And yet, the integrity of the game is protected by the referee. Without the referee, then no one would call errors and penalties, and it would become a brawl, not a game. So when the Congress went down and refused to have honor, they opened up the floodgates of monopoly capital on the common people. So the gap now is not so much black, white as it is north, south, have not, surplus, deficit. On the game Sunday, you will not be pulling for complexion, you'll be pulling for direction. Not skin color, uniform color, because we've grown to another level. But we're losing jobs and houses and hope, hurt. And so now we need to use the Roosevelt approach. We must restructure the banks, not just refortify them. This is the living thing talking. We must restructure them, not just refortify them. We must put a chicken in every pot of those who are hungry, 50 million are malnourished. We must strengthen FDIC and SEC to put banks under control again. We must put a moratorium on foreclosure people's houses. We must bring joy bottom up. If not, we'll have stocks rising and poverty rising, unemployment rising, pain rising, and fear rising. Unless we do something King-like, Roosevelt-like, then we'll have the insurance stock rising and the hospital stock rising and the pharmaceutical stock rising and the unemployed and the sick dying early. Can you imagine the president says we need to have something as bold as insure everybody. 50 million Americans have no health insurance. 50 million more have inadequate health insurance, and we need it, and it's morally right. And he's attacked the Congress and called liar, and the men who call him liar raised $2 million that weekend. Can you imagine that somehow people who profess some sense of morality and ethics would find victory in denying health care for those who don't have it while they in fact have it? So Dr. King would be disturbing, comforting to disturb, suffering for his ideals, suffering great character breeds faith, and the unfaithful prevail. Seize the moment, change the nation, change the world. David seized that moment, and he knocked out Goliath against the odds. So the man of faith says to us tonight, keep on dreaming. There's nothing break your spirit. It gets dark sometime, but the morning comes. The Lord is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? The Lord is the strength of our lives. We will face some danger trying to make this a better country and a better continent. And yet, at the end of the day, we're measured by not what we consume, but by what we share. In this King spirit, let's march again. Let's make clear our quest for peace and not war. Let's fight for a fair distribution of God's resources. Use that power to say to Haiti that you are the head of your crisis is our opportunity. Let us not forget, Haiti is the creditor, we are the debtor. I must say to you, as we reach out to save Haiti in some measure tonight, certainly as Americans, that when Lord defeated Napoleon in Haiti, it wrote the French in my hemisphere. That's why we're not speaking French tonight in America. That's why all the land west of Mississippi from Louisiana purchased was because the Haitians rebelled and became the first free black country and ran the French out. And the Haitians in their freedom joined America in the Revolution in Savannah. The Haitians, the French never forgave them, and America never rewarded them. And the colonized had to pay the colonized on reparations. The Haitians had to pay the French $25 billion. The U.S. and France blockaded Haiti. Haiti has got to pay that bill in 1947. The issue in Haiti is not the earthquake, it's poverty. This is some King stuff. Trying to disturb us, trying to get your attention. After all, 7.6 earthquake in California and San Francisco, 63 died. In Haiti, 200,000 died. It was not the earthquake, it was the poverty, the lack of infrastructure. We must go beyond rescue to relief and then reconstruction. It's time for a real change. It is with this faith we fight that fight. As I look back at my years of struggle, thanks be to God, I was with him at those critical moments. This year, I was jailed 50 years ago, trying to use a public library. And I feel a little trembling from heaven, and I see your faces tonight on Dr. King's legacy, on that hope, on that dream, fighting for a better environment, celebrating progress, a freed Mandela, an elevated Barack Obama, a little Martin Luther King Jr. I can say in my own testimony, I once was young. And now older, but I've never seen the righteous